Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're unpacking a truly fascinating article by Rhiannon Corcoran. It really challenges how we often think about mental health.
It does. It dives deep into this connection between our life circumstances,
Mhm.
things like poverty, difficult childhoods, even where we live, and our well-being.
Exactly. We're talking poverty, adverse childhood experiences, ACEs, and those, stigmatized places.
Right. And our mission today really is to explore how psychology as a field maybe needs to shift.
Shift how?
Well, shift from looking just at the individual, inside their head to actually grappling with the bigger societal and economic stuff that shapes how we feel and act.
Ah, okay.
Because the argument here is that a lot of what we call faulty responses or problems, maybe they're not faulty at all. Maybe they're just adaptive reactions to really tough environments.
Adaptive reactions. That's interesting.
Yeah, and understanding that, looking at that bigger picture,
Mm.
it's probably crucial if we want to make any real change.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit. The source points out this challenge psychology often focuses on our internal states, right? And if they don't look like happiness, they get labeled faulty.
Precisely. But what if those states, maybe being super cautious or only thinking short term, what if they're actually smart, adaptive ways to deal with a really unpredictable world?
So pushing someone to change their behavior might actually be bad?
It could be, yeah. Think about it. If you're in a place with predictable violence, maybe anger management isn't the answer. Maybe that anger response is protective.
Right.
Or telling someone in deep poverty to focus on long-term goals. It kind of ignores the fact that they might need very specific short-term strategies just to survive day to day.
It survives a logic, not a personal flaw.
Exactly. It's a completely different framing.
That really makes you think, especially when you see the scale of poverty. You mentioned the source citing 14.2 million people in the UK back in 2018. That's huge.
It's staggering.
So what does living under that kind of constant pressure actually do to us psychologically?
Well, the article suggests it creates these predictable psychological patterns, almost traps.
Perhaps? Like what?
Like becoming really risk-averse, maybe sticking with something certain, even if it's not great, rather than risking something for a potential gain.
Sure.
Or temporal discounting.
Temporal discounting.
Yeah, basically prioritizing immediate needs right now over planning for a future that feels really uncertain or out of reach.
Which makes sense in the short term.
Totally adaptive in the short term. But the tough part is, those same strategies can make it harder to get out of poverty long term.
Oh, I see.
So the source argues for things beyond just therapy, like debt advice, employment support, a kind of mental health in all policies idea.
Okay, so it's our current situation, but also our past, right? Adverse childhood experiences, ACEs. We hear about them, but the article lays out how predictably damaging they are.
Devastatingly predictable, yeah. For life trajectory, for mental health, and it links to common serious distress.
And psychology's response.
Well, the article calls it sluggish, maybe too late sometimes. Public health is doing great prevention work like those animations in Wales. But psychology needs to really get into how this stuff gets passed down generations, intergenerational transmission. And also look at things like post-traumatic growth.
Growth after trauma.
Yeah, how people can find resilience and positive change even after really difficult experiences.
Okay, so past experiences, present finances, and also just where we live, stigmatized places.
Absolutely. The urban penalty, the idea that city living can be tough on mental health, that's not new. It's been talked about since the 1930s.
Wow. And childhood urbanicity, just growing up in a city, can be like an ACE itself.
It can have its own unique stressors, yes. And what's really interesting is that how we perceive our neighborhood can matter more than the official statistics.
How we feel about the place.
Exactly. Which is why those top-down regeneration projects often don't work psychologically if the community isn't deeply involved.
So community involvement is key.
Hugely. Meaningful involvement fosters optimism, a sense of control, community spirit. And we often forget about kids and teens in these plans, too.
It really sounds like psychology needs a different approach then, urgently.
I think that's the core message. And community psychology is offered as a way forward.
Community psychology.
Yeah, it's less about fixing individuals and more about understanding people within their complex social systems. It focuses on collaboration, empowerment, social justice.
So instead of labeling someone depressed,
You might ask, are they understandably resigned to really difficult circumstances? Is their behavior adaptive? It's a shift in perspective. And it's vital for big policy ideas like leveling up. Psychology needs a voice there.
so thinking about this for you, the listener, This really shifts things, doesn't it? Well-being isn't just about you being resilient on your own.
Not at all. It's deeply shaped by the society around us, income, place, childhood experiences.
It makes you ask if our actions are often smart responses to tough situations, not just personal flaws.
Then how do we, as a society, build environments that actually support well-being instead of creating distress? That's the bigger question, isn't it? It forces us to look beyond the individual.
A powerful thought to end on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.